everyone, welcome back to another week rotations video. We're on now week number 56 in a series where I show you everything I've worn all through the week, and it's everything from my collection. So some things maybe designer, some things maybe niche or indie, but most of them are gonna be cheapies because that is what I enjoy collecting and what this whole channel is about. And this week is especially gonna be emphasis on the cheapy name because I sent out a community poll like a couple of weeks ago asking you what should my next rotation be. Should it be all designer fragrances or should it be all cologne fragrances? And the vast majority of you voted for a week full of nothing but cologne fragrances. And so I have all those here except for the very first thing that I had here from the last Sunday because it was ending the last rotation. There's a lot of different varieties of brands here too, but most of them are going to be cold weather because that is the season I'm now in. But let's start off on the first day of last week, the last part of the last rotation, not getting to the cologne part. It's a sample I wore on Sunday, my usual church going routine, and this one fit perfectly throughout the day. It was very bitter cold for majority of the day, very windy, and this one cut through it right well. It is by World of Zaharoff, and this one is Signature Pour Homme Extreme. So I have talked about this one a little bit, I think maybe last in December, probably the week before Christmas or so. I wore this and I talked about it, comparing it to the original Signature Pour Homme. And this is literally the exact same as Signature Pour Homme, but a little deeper, a little more dark with a noticeable smokiness, like a deep birch tar style of smokiness. I'm not pretty sure that that's what they used in this because it has that very like earthy black tar, like burning asphalt kind of smokiness, a little fireplace style as well, but it blends in very nicely with the kind of animalic citrus musk, that old retro kind of style they have in here. Very aromatic, a little citrus, but more woody overall, more so than the original. But yeah, this stuff is fantastic. I did refresh it throughout the day. It has a very bold, unapologetic, masculine style to it, and this would be one that I would be really willing to get a full bottle of, along with the original Signature Pour Homme. But yeah, love this stuff. Again, if you have a chance to sample anything from World of Zaharoff, I highly suggest it, especially if you love that old school masculine style, but with a little bit of a modern twist to it. And now we're getting into the cologne week, and there's a lot in here that I've worn multiple times, so I'm not gonna go through talking a whole lot about each one unless it's something I haven't featured before. And this one I wore on the first day of the work week on Monday. It has been a hype beast in the cheapy community for a while, and it's a recent addition to my collection, even though I don't know why I've waited so long to get it, but now I really, really love it. I can only imagine how much better it'll get over time, but it is by Off and On, and it is Rare Carbon. Of course, a clone of Tom Ford's Ombre Leather. Absolutely love this. You very much get that very jasmine floral style of leather, not too animalic, not too smoky, very clean, very wearable. Very, very nice. It has a little more freshness to it than the original Ombre Leather, a little more emphasis on, I think, maybe some of the florals, not so much of the parfum version, but a little bit more emphasis on that, a little more almost aquatic, ozonic freshness style in there. And man, this stuff is good. I love it. I love it. I love good leather fragrances. It's hard to find one that is very realistic and wearable and not anything that's like too screechy or too smoky or petrol or things like that. This one smells fantastic. I've smelled Ombre Leather multiple times, tried it on skin. This is right with it. Easily like close to that without spending the high price point. But yeah, it has been hyped for a reason. Very good, very accurate, and a great performance. Like almost all day wear. Love this stuff. Then that nighttime wore one that I really don't know how I feel about it. It's a recent addition to my collection, and I still haven't nailed down really what this is trying to be. And even when I see it online, people still don't really know what it's meant to clone. It has similarities to this and that, but really nothing that is grounded. So it may be an original. It is from Lattafa and their Lattafa Pride line, and TJ Maxx is starting to carry these little travel size atomizers from the travel size bottles from the Lattafa Pride line, which is very cool, for like $8. And this one is called La Collection L'Antique. I think La Collection L'Antiques is 1886, I believe is what it is. Yes, 1886. This one is gonna immediately have a reminiscence to Dior Homme, a very iris forward powdery style. Dior Homme Intense, Valentino Uomo, things like that. A lot of people say it's closer to the original Dior Homme, like the pre-2020 formulation, but has a lot of floral freshness in there, like very floral forward, making this something that goes from like masculine to a little over unisex, almost feminine leaning, as I think it's perfectly unisex, but that floral nature is very strong with this. Aside from the powdery iris, white florals, almost a yellow floral kind of aspect, a little bit of woodiness in there, a little ambery warmth, but there is a piercing note in here that I don't know if it's intentional or if it's a bad batch or if it's just something that they didn't blend right, but it has a very, very cheap, almost citric freshness to it. Maybe the florals go in there as well. It has a little bit of a similarity to Privé Intense. I don't have the bottle, I actually sold it, but it's the one that you can find at TJ Maxx and whatnot. It looks like Dior Homme Intense. It has the same kind of colorization, has a nice atomizer, but it's by the brand Privé. Smells very similar to that, but actually Privé, for the low price pick that up at, even though this travel size is very cheap, it smells way better and even closer to Dior Homme Intense than this does. I really don't know what this is trying to be. It almost seems like it's trying to be that way, but yeah, on skin it has a piercing, I don't know, floral ionic note that I just do not care for. If that was out, or if there's just more sweetness in here, I think it'd smooth it out a little bit. But yeah, don't know what to think about it. Maybe after it sits matures on my shelf, even though it is a small bottle, maybe it'll smooth over, be okay. Had great performance, like almost lasted the whole night, but it did not smell complete on my skin. But yeah, if you do happen to see this, or if you already have it and you tried it out, let me know if it's just me or if it's just a certain batch variation or whatever, and see what you think about it. But still something that's interesting. Next day, wore one that, again, not gonna talk a whole lot about because I've talked about it a bunch here, and my guy Charlie Phillips is going to love me talking about this one as well. It's by Comair Perfumes, and this one is Contre for You. I have to wear this at least every other week, especially as soon as it hits fall time and that winter season, the colder seasons, all the way up until the end of spring. I have to wear this stuff. It is a dead ringer for Stronger With You by Giorgio Armani. Emporio Armani. Dead ringer. I've smelled Stronger With You in person so many times. This is literally the exact same quality, exact same note breakdown, everything in it. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if the same synthetics in this were used in Stronger With You. But yeah, smells dead ringer for it. Amazing performance. You get that sweet hazelnut bubblegum sweetness in there, a lot of vanilla, a little cinnamon spice. I actually got a lot more woody spiciness out of this one this time I wore it. Very nice deep ambers. It's just absolutely amazing. A lot of lavender in here as well, a little bit of an aromatic facet, but yeah, absolutely fantastic. You can still find this out and about regularly at TJ Maxx, I think Marshalls as well. So if you do happen to see this or any from the Contra line, do yourself a favor, pick it up. It is an amazing, amazing quality buy for the price. Then at nighttime, wore one that I talked about on my last live stream. I was wondering if there's like a kind of power play going on between Ardal Zafran and Lattafa, because this one I have is called Body Al Oud by Ardal Zafran. And you can see the name on the box, and even the name at the top here. Very similar logo used for the top as well. I don't know if they used all the same like perfumery houses or whatnot, the same manufacturing plants or whatever, but the bottle on this and the name and the box is the exact same look as Body Al Oud, Oud for Glory by Lattafa. Even though this one's just called Body Al Oud, doesn't have the Oud for Glory part on here, so maybe that's their way to bypass copyright. I don't know, it's way too similar, but this is actually a way more wearable, way more tolerable take on Body Al Oud, Oud for Glory, which is also a clone of Initio's Oud for Greatness. It is a way fresher, more lifted take on that. It basically is the exact same profile, but just tamed down a good bit, almost watered down, takes back the harsh metallic burnt rubber style of oud and saffron that's in that, and really, really tamed it down. Not as good as Ajmal's Song of Oud. I love that stuff. Still want to get a full bottle of it, but closer to the actual profile of Body Al Oud for Glory and Oud for Greatness. But like I said, tamed, a little freshened, a little more lifted, a little more subdued. Love it. If you don't like how that smells, if you think it's a little too, harsh, a little too out there, also a little too loud, this is a great alternative. And like I said, these small bottles have been popping up at TJ Maxx for like $8 as well, which is a fantastic buy. It's Eau de Parfum. It's a 50 ml here, and it smells great. It really does smell really good, and a great performer as well. I smelled it even on my bedclothes the next day when I woke up. But yeah, love this stuff, absolutely great. I mean, it's a very easily wearable. I think you can wear it in the daytime in fall and winter, but yeah, great for most of the cold season. But yeah, if you do happen to find this out and about any of the Ardal Zafran collections they have out at TJ Maxx. I highly suggest trying this out and seeing what you think about it. Then on that next work day, wore one that I have hyped a lot on this channel. Haven't really seen anybody else in the fragrance community talk about this one that much. It seems like it's flying under the radar, especially compared to all the other flankers that came after this in this house. It is by Paris Corner, and this one is Kyr, the original Kyr, which is a clone of Guisa's Imperial Valley. This stuff though, I really love this. If you want a everyday signature wearable masculine Middle Eastern style fragrance, this is the one to go with. Very strong leather and oud, a little bit of the petrol, slight animalic smoky style of that leather just in the first little bit, then it dries down being a little more clean while still having a little bit of a masculine edge to it. A lot of woodiness, like I said, an oud note in here as well, and you get a lot of aromatics. I actually got a little bit of a more aromatic, fresh minty lift when I first sprayed this on the last time. I don't know if it's matured and sat a little bit, but I got a little bit more of an aromatic lift in this on the opening, which smelled fantastic. Really loved it. Like I said, a little fresh, almost minty. There's a Divana note in here, giving it a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of that aromatic nature as well. And the sweetness that's in here that comes up underneath it, very unexpected, but it bounces out all the heavier notes, the more masculine style in this very well. A little bit of freshness in here, but you get a lot of woodiness, a lot of musk, little things like that. But man, this stuff is just, it's really good. Great for almost all year round, probably except for the super high heat of summer, but literally fall, winter, spring, day or night, almost any situation, probably aside from very casual, playful situations. This is a great one and a super good price. I found this one actually at Ross Dress for Less for like $20, $22, which is fantastic. I know a lot of the other flankers that come off of this are way more feminine leaning. Actually, I think majority of them are all like Kayali clones, but this one is the one that is way out of the bunch. It set it off, but yet I don't know how everything else came off of this one, even though this one's totally different, way more masculine leaning. So don't let the name and the presentation fool you. This is fantastic. Like I said, if you want an everyday, unique Middle Eastern style fragrance, this is the one to go with. And from what I hear online, it's a very good clone with Guisa's Imperial Valley. Great performer, all of that. Check this out if you haven't already. I highly recommend it. Then that nighttime had a midweek church service to go to, and wore one that I haven't given a whole lot of wear to. It's my favorite out of the haul that I got with this in it, which is actually the whole line this is in. It is by Fragrance World in their Artisan Perfumery line, and this one is Arabian Incense. This is a very unique, interesting fragrance, but also one of the more wearable out of the ones that I got, and also one that's a little more unisex, masculine leaning, because all the other ones were more feminine leaning. This one is cloning an Atelier or Alterier fragrance that I cannot pronounce. I will hopefully put the picture and the name of it right here. I don't usually do that on these videos, but I cannot remember it or pronounce it, so I'm putting it right here. This is very interesting, very ambery. Of course, it says Arabian Incense, and there is a smoky aspect, but it's majority very woody, dry woodiness. I actually got a lot more woods with this than it was the last time I wore it, but very dry, woody, very ambery, a little balsamic style as well, very warm, a little musky, and like I said, a slight smokiness with that incense, not anything that's like a fireplace kind of deal, just a wispy, smooth, almost light smokiness. We can talk about it that way. A great atomizer, by the way. It's very interesting. A very slight sweetness in here as well. Absolutely love it. It's a very classy, warm, kind of almost grown-up style of date style fragrance, or something if you want in a formal gathering at nighttime. This is a perfect one to wear. Not anything for daytime, exclusively for the cold weather, but I think nighttime fits more of this style because of how, I guess, kind of sultry and almost mysterious it is. Absolutely love it. It's a great quality. I can only imagine how much better it will get as it sits and matures, and all the ones from this line as well are a great quality. So I highly recommend it. If you do happen to pick any of these up, let me know what you think about it, but this one here is a standout to me. Then the next day, on that Thursday, wore one again I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about because everyone and their mama already knows what this whole line and this whole company is about. It just happens to be my favorite from the line of fragrances and from this house. It just really blows my mind every time I wear it, how great it is for the price you can get it at. It is by Armaf and none other than their Club Nuit Intense Man line, and this is the limited edition parfum. Excuse the fingerprints on this because of course this is a fingerprint magnet. I know everyone and their mama says that this is their favorite. I know the Extreme Edition and the Parfum or Extrait or whatever people say it's also really good. Ross from TLTG Reviews kind of says the same thing, but I think he keeps going back to this one as well, and I do as well, and Ash does the same thing. Just the price for the quality you get in this is just outstanding. This should be way higher. I know that Ross says this is a more fruity take on the Aventus style. I think this is actually the more smoky take. I don't know, maybe some of the other ones are more smoky. Maybe I need to try more of them out. If I can, I'll try to get little bottles of them or samples as I go through, because I'm not interested in getting full bottles of them unless it's just way different. But I do get a lot of smokiness, a lot of oak moss earthiness, a little of that birch woodiness, a lot of that pineapple. I do get some fruitiness in here, that pineapple black currant style, but it's nothing that's overly fruity. Definitely not as fruity as like Off Non's, you know, Supremacy Collector's Edition or Not Only Intense. To me, this is way more earthy and smoky than those are. I do love this though. This stuff is fantastic, great performance. I actually got way better performance on this past time I've worn it. Also very musky as well, gotta say that. Had a bit of freshness as well, but it lasted like almost the whole day, even when I sprayed on the thing for that nighttime. Great performance as well. This is a compliment puller. Not the most cheap of the line. This is like now I think going over like $60. So it's definitely not as cheap as majority of the rest of the line, but still one that is, I think, very well worth the price, especially for the quality, the smoothness, and the blend that you get out of it. But yeah, love this stuff. If you don't have it or any of the Club Nouillet Intense Man lines, what are you doing? It's been hyped everywhere and about. Just go out and buy a bottle and get what the hype is. Then that nighttime, myself, wife, and baby went out and about and actually grocery shopping a day early. Since this ice storm was moving in, we really didn't know what to expect. So we went out early before everything got bought out so that we could just go ahead and get ahead of the curve, and wore one that I really love. Is now one of my absolute favorite clones, or even fragrances in general, my whole collection. I love the original that it's flanking from, but this one is a very tough contender, probably right at equal with it. It's by Off Non in their 9 p.m. line, and it is 9 p.m. Elixir. I actually got this at TJ Maxx shortly after it was released online for like 30 something, almost $40, maybe $42 or so, which was really good and contending very strong with the price that was online. To me, this is an adequate flanker to the original 9 p.m. I don't know if it smells very similar to Le Male Elixir Absolute or not. Some people say it's like a mixture of Elixir and Elixir Absolute. To me, this is literally just a more intense Elixir version of the original 9 p.m. It smells exactly like it, but with added spices, a little more rich, ambery woodiness in there. You do get a lot of spice with this as well, and just a little bit more subtle sweetness, not as fruity sweet as that. This is a more kind of classy, formalized, sophisticated style sweetness, but still, no mistake, it's very sweet. But man, this stuff is so good, and performance is fantastic. I think I sprayed it on this jacket or something like this, and I still smelled it like days later. Even on the clothes I had on that night, that undershirt, still smelled it days later. Loud performer. Be careful how much you spray at this, because it will get very loud very quickly. Also, a little bit of a leathery aspect in here as it dries down. Forgot to mention that, a little darker as well. But man, love this stuff. Absolutely fantastic. If you do have a chance to get this, I recommend it, especially if you don't have any other Elixir style or any other Le Male style besides, I think, you know, Armoff's Lionheart Man. I love that one. This is way more for like nighttime use, way more so than that or anything else. But yeah, absolutely love this. Fantastic, worth the hype that it's getting online for sure. Then the next day, on Friday, last day of the work week, wore one that I'm not gonna talk a whole lot about because everybody and their moms already talked about it. It's super hyped in the fragrance community. It's been forever. It's gotten cheaper online, which makes it even more hype. Some people forget about it. Some people bring it back and try to bring back appreciation for it. I do really like it. I think it worked great for what I was wearing it for in the almost office style setting I had. I think it still works great for those indoor kind of winter cold settings. It is by Lattafa, and it is Assad, the original Assad. I do have Assad Elixir on the way, and when I do get it, I will wear it, try it out, and I will give a single fragrance review talking about that one. So be looking for that later in the future. But yeah, a Sauvage Elixir kind of style, but a little more tame, a little freshened up, not as potent as that. This actually had way better performance on it since almost any other time that I've worn it. It's been like very subdued, but this time it actually lasted and projected and did all that good stuff. But yeah, very much a allspice licorice style of spiciness. There's like a cinnamon, there's cardamom, there's coffee, there's all kind of notes in here. You get a lot of sweetness, a lot of vanilla, a little bit of woods, amber, a little resinous, and actually there's a little bit of an old school like retro throwback style with the lavender. I think there's like some earthy oak mossy notes in here as well, but the way that it dries down has a little bit of an old school, I know Ash said Drakkar Noir aspect, and I do get that in here. A little masculine, a little more, like I said, deeper dark woody, not as dark as some of the other ones here, but comparatively so. But yeah, do love this one. It's fantastic. It's gotten even cheaper online, and now it's been popping up at rack stores like TJ Maxx for like 20 bucks or so. So yeah, if you like Sauvage Elixir, it's a great alternative. Not exactly the same and not gonna be the same performance and everything, but a good alternative, especially if you want a little bit of a twist to it. It's still good. For the money, you can't go wrong with it. Some people don't like it, but me, I think I'm all about it. Then at nighttime, I wore one that you can't find anymore unless you want to go like on eBay or third-party places and spend, I don't know how much money. It probably isn't gonna be that much, but it will be probably a little more, especially than what it used to be. It is by Parfums Belcam, and this one is Classic Match Oud. And this one is very special and unique because it is cloning a discontinued fragrance, and now this one itself has been discontinued by Parfums Belcam, if I can speak correctly. This is a clone of Ralph Lauren's Polo Supreme Oud, which has been way discontinued. They also had like Supreme Cashmere and Supreme Leather and a lot of other Supreme flankers that I really wish I had the chance to get before they got discontinued, because man, I really hate I missed all that era. And I know there's been a recent release from Polo called Polo Oud. I think they've tried to resurrect the name or the scent profile or the hype that was about it, but apparently from what I've heard, it has not been the exact same. So this is the closest I'm going to be able to get to smelling the original Supreme Oud. And as from what I hear, I know Parfums Belcam does a great job at replicating the original formulations and stuff, so I don't doubt this is very close, but of course I may never know. But by itself, is a very wearable, sweet saffron oud fragrance, very much in that designer style of oud. A little smoky, a little spicy. There's actually a lot of patchouli in here. I sprayed enough on, you really get that very almost chocolate style of patchouli, very earthy, really fills it in. And it is there, it's nice, it smells great, but it did not last that long on me. I know when I originally did the video covering this one, which I'll put a video to up here, I talked about how the performance is great and all that, and maybe I was just looking back through like, rose tinted glasses or just trying to hype it up at the time, and maybe my nose was just different then, who knows, or my skin was different. But yeah, this one, it just did not perform all that great, and maybe the juice on the inside has not aged that well. I don't know, but it was great while it lasted, but I did have to spray something else on top of it later, which I'll get to right now. When that Parfums Belcam one started drying off, I wore one that I don't see a lot of people talk about online either, from Lattafa, but I opened this fragrance along with my best friend Tommy in a big Lattafa haul we did like 2 years ago, and this one is from them that's called Oudane. So apparently this one's also very similar to their fragrance Moussaman, which I really, really want to get. Sometimes I go look and it's out of stock, so I need to try to get it while it is in. A great, by the way, the presentation is fantastic. I love the way this top looks here, and it's a wooden top as well. The presentation quality is great, hefty bottle. It's very, very Middle Eastern, saffron, sweet, oud woodiness. There's actually a good bit of a medicinal quality to this, which if you spray a lot of it on, some of you might not like it. There's a tad bit of almost a leathery aspect in here, but it's not overly strong. There's some other things I've had back here that's way stronger on the leather, but like basically leather, saffron, oud, a little sweetness. Yeah, almost like a caramelized sugar sweetness. It has a little bit of almost like Ragba wood intense in here, but bumped up on the oud and the spices and whatnot. But yeah, I do really like this one. It was a pretty okay performer as well. Like, it lasted me well into the night until I went to sleep. Woke up the next morning, could still smell a little bit on, but not as loud as some of the other ones I've worn through the week. But yeah, a great one to go with. Again, not one everyone's gonna talk about, but one that I think is really, really nice. But yeah, good if you want a regular, like Middle Eastern, sweet, spicy oud fragrance that does not have florals or rose or anything like that in it, that you can wear for most of the cold season at nighttime. Great one to go with for like date nights or formal situations. Probably not casual, it's not as playful as that, but yeah, do like it. Very underrated. If you do happen to see it either out and about at a rack store sometime in the future or online for a really good price, try it and see what you think about it, especially if you don't have anything that's in this profile. And there you guys, all the things I've worn all through the week, and I know that you're used to seeing me like probably a little better dressed up or especially clean shaven and whatnot. It's because we did not have church today on Sunday as I'm recording this because of the ice storm, took out power, closed off roads and all that around the area. So we decided to cancel church today for everyone's safety and also let everyone be at home with their families and help tough out this big thing going through. I know some places are getting hit harder than others, and if you are in those areas that is without power or where it is, just completely debilitated, located in your area as far as travel and transportation. I really am praying for you, hope for the best. I hope everything gets smoothed out and over, or if you're like in the situation I am where it's like half on, some places are great, some places are not, then we'll see how it goes from there. But yeah guys, there you go, everything I've worn through the week. I know all the clones, a lot of the Middle Eastern, some of them very Middle Eastern style. I'm wanting to get more clone fragrances sometime this year, especially more hype beast ones as I go through, and I'll cover them and review them. But I am still wanting to do more original kind of from unknown designer or indie brands out there that are still cheap and inexpensive. So this year I want to do more of a new discovery kind of thing, not so much saturation with the clone fragrances, because that's everywhere out in the fragrance world today. But I still will go here and there, especially if it's one that is really good and really sought after. I'll try to get it and talk about it. As usual guys, if you liked anything I talked about, let me know what fragrance stood out to you, which ones you like, or which ones that you think, hey, if you like this one, I think you like this one instead, or maybe this one's better, I heard this clone is way better than this, try this one out. I'd love to hear all about it in the comments below. And if you're watching this video and you like what you've seen here, and maybe this video has provided any kind of entertainment factor or helped you out in some way, please consider giving the video a like and a thumbs up. Let me know that to keep making these week rotation videos and to keep doing what I'm doing. And if you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to the channel, but you do like what you've seen here or what you've seen elsewhere on the channel, I encourage you to please consider supporting this channel by subscribing and hitting that notification bell so you can see all the other things that I am planning throughout the year and I have working on in the background to bring out to you guys for you all to watch and enjoy. I'd love for you to be right along with me on this cheap and inexpensive fragrance journey. And hey, maybe I can even help you discover something new along the way. And there you guys, that's all I have for today's video. Again, thank you for being here and for watching. I really do appreciate it, and I hope that you've enjoyed it. And as usual, I will see all of you again in the next video. Be blessed.